It's the end of a couple eras today as Boise State welcomes Utah State from Mountain West Conference Women's Basketball Showdown. We welcome you inside ExtraMile Arena on the Boise State University campus with former Bronco standout and longtime Boise High School head coach Kim Bridges. I am Mark Snyder. Well, Kim, today is senior day. You've been through it as a player and a coach. Boise State bids farewell to this class, a dynamic class that is 78-52, winning 60% of their games over 4 years.
You know, senior day is always extremely special, but it also comes with some additional emotions, which can be tough to navigate for the players and even the coaching staff.
It's also the last Mountain West Conference home game for Boise State as both the Broncos and Aggies move to the Pac-12 next year. The Aggies come in wounded. They have not won since the calendar turned to 2026. They've lost 15 in a row, but you can't overlook this Aggie team and their leading scorer, Aaliyah Gales.
That's right. USC transfer Aaliyah Gales is a remarkable comeback story that I am sure we will discuss more in this broadcast. She is the Aggies' primary scorer. She does a great job creating her own shots off the bounce. She's got a strong pull-up jumper and loves to finish through contact. On the defensive end, she can really disrupt the other team's offensive flow, and the Aggies are going to need the very best out of Gales to pick up this important win over the Broncos today.
One of the Broncos seniors honored earlier today is Tatum Thompson from Woodinville, Washington. She scored in double figures the last 5 games.
Tatum continues to be such an important factor in the Broncos' success this season. The preseason Mountain West Player of the Year has averaged over 17 points a game in the last 5 games, which is a big reason for Boise State's current spot in the 3-way tie for second place in the Mountain West. In addition to scoring, she's been getting it done on the glass and even doled out 4 assists against the Aztecs on Wednesday night. This senior would love nothing more than to finish with a win in her on the home floor in her last game in a Bronco uniform here in Boise.
For the final time in the regular season as Mountain West foes, the Broncos and Aggies will tip it off. We'll meet the starters and start this game after we take this break. Now we're back inside ExtraMile Arena. A great crowd on this Saturday afternoon for the home finale for Boise State as they host Utah State, looking for the series sweep. The starters for both teams on the floor in orange, the Broncos, Tatum Thompson, Danny Bays, Maya Hansen, Natalie Pasco, and Josie Stedman, all seniors. Stedman with her first career start for the Broncos. Rachel Wilson, Aaliyah Gaines, Karen Sanford, Elise Livingston, Jasmine Heaton, the 5 on the floor for the Aggies, and their second-year head coach, Wesley Brooks. Boise State, there you see Josie Stedman getting her first career start, chatting with our referee, Robert Schofield. Giselle Wardlow and Nicole Judd are officials. The Broncos, Kim, undefeated this year, 3-0 in the Orange Unis.
Love it. Love that the color of uniform is something we track now.
Yes. And here's Gales with the basketball to start things out for the Aggies. Swing it over to Livingston. Big turnover on this Utah State roster. 11 newcomers this season. On the drive, Sanford, the Norwegian, puts it in to give the Aggies the first lead.
And you talked about having 11 newcomers. Hey,
Josie Stedman with the feed from the outside. She puts it in. Josie's career high, 7 points against Utah State down in Logan earlier this year.
You see Livingston with the ball there. She lit up the Broncos for 17 points in their first meeting, so I know the Broncos are definitely wanting to key in on number 23, Livingston.
Gales outside to Sanford. 4 on the shot clock. Sanford deep 3 off the mark, and Tatum Thompson with the rebound. Hands the ball to the birthday girl, Maya Hansen, out of Billings, Montana Central Catholic High School. Leading the Mountain West in assists. Stedman drains the triple, and she may never come out of this game. She's got all 5 Bronco points.
I love this for Josie Stedman. You know, we've talked about her. This is actually just the 20th game that she's participated in this season out of 30 total. You know, she is the epitome of your team basketball player, does everything that the Broncos need.
Thompson to Stedman. That one is blocked, and Heaton comes out of the pack with the basketball for Utah State.
thought she was going to get to the free throw line
Yeah.
for a chance at 2 more.
Livingston outside. Heaton, top of the key. Spins on Thompson, lost it. Here comes Hansen, leading the Bronco break. Hansen, corner, Bays, spots, open, 3, drains it.
The Aggies cannot leave Bays open. There's actually quite a few players on the floor right now, maybe all of them, that the Aggies would be wise to make sure they're picking up early in transition. But Danny Bays, one of those very special shooters for the Broncos.
Gale, tough matchup defensively, who throws up the air ball, and Stedman with the rebound. Broncos coming out 3 of 4 from the field to start the game. Pasco swings it to Stedman. Josie, Idaho product out of Blackfoot, Snake River High School, where she was a prolific 3-point shooter, and that one skips through the wickets of Natalie Pasco and goes out of bounds. So here's your keys to the game, Kim, and we talked about Gales getting her involved early. She did not have a good game against the Broncos in Logan.
That's right. She was held to just 2 points. I think she was 0 of 5 from the field in the first meeting, so I know that's something she wants to remedy here with this game. You know, the Utah State wants to get going quickly, and they want to push the ball as quick as possible, and that really hasn't been the flow yet for them. It's actually been the flow for the Broncos, so it'll be interesting to see if they can start to dictate flow. I think in order for them to have success, they do need to change up the momentum and the tempo of this game.
Livingston out of Millville, Utah with the basketball, drives, tucks it up, and scores. Nice drive by the sophomore, Elise Livingston. Averages 7 points a game. She's got 2 there. Hansen to the cutter, Stedman, and her pass knocked away by Livingston and stolen away. Macy Brown now into the game for Utah State. A teammate of Livingston's at Millville, Utah's Ridgeline High School. This is Heaton. Aggies only have 9 players in uniform today, as Bays with that rebound. Thompson hesitates, pulls up, free throw line jumper, just left it short. Brown with the rebound. Livingston cut off nicely. The pass down low for Brown, and she puts it in. So after an 8-0 run by the Broncos, the Aggies have answered back with 2 hoops of their own. Thompson outside. Stedman left open, fires the 3. That one is left short.
And that's one of the advantages when Stedman is in the game, that offense that they're running, the ball screen offense, for her to pop back out. She is a scoring threat. She's got kind of an unusual release, little extra spin, a little English on that ball. But, boy, I've seen her put down many of those shots.
Thompson underneath gets the feed from fellow senior Maya Hansen, and Tatum Thompson on the board. Nice fast break off the turnover.
That was a nice find by Hansen, and Tatum had to actually do a bounce to collect it. I think it was coming off a little bit strange after the bounce pass.
Spinning is Sanford. This is Heaton. She splits the D but can't get it to go. That one out of bounds off Utah State. So the Broncos will get the basketball. Stedman now will sit, and Libby Hutton, the sophomore from Perth, Australia, checks in.
You know, Heaton didn't really play much of any minutes against the Broncos the first time. She actually experienced a broken nose in the first, I want to say, like,
she played a minute
and a half against the Broncos the first time, and actually left the gymnasium and went to get some medical attention. So she's definitely trying to assert her presence early. I think that was a nice move by her, that last possession down here for the Aggies, just couldn't get the spin.
Broncos turn it over, and that brings us to our first timeout as we take a look at some of the Senior Day highlights. Broncos by 4 here from Boise. Boise State dominating the all-time series against Utah State. Broncos winning in Logan earlier this season. And they have won 9 in a row against the Aggies, who have the basketball now with Livingston bringing it across the timeline. Baseline Sanford under the basket. Spins on Hutton, missed the shot. Rebound tipped loose and picked up by Natalie Pasco. Rachel Wilson there for the Aggies, but couldn't corral it. High post Thompson has it knocked free, gets it back in the double team and draws the foul.
A lot of contact there. I think Tatum was waiting for the official to blow the whistle maybe just a few moments earlier. It looked like, yes, that was the original contact. They didn't call it until this one here on the second hit.
Aitana Roseo Lopez out of Castellón de la Plana, Spain. And I apologize for my Spanish. That ball is off the mark, and the rebound to Sanford. Broncos now 4 of 8 from the field after starting out 3 of 4.
The Aggies have a real international flair. I mean, they have 4 from Spain. They have a player from France, 1 from Norway, 1 from Serbia, and 1 from Zambia, actually.
That pass hits the stanchion and goes out of bounds. And we take a look at Wesley Brooks in his second season, coach at Ohio State, where he saw much success as an assistant for the Buckeyes. Career record, though, just 10-48 and 5-31 in Mountain West play. It's been a tough go the last couple of years down in Logan.
It has, and he's taken over a program that wasn't experiencing a ton of success on the women's side. So he's trying to build culture. I think one of the coolest things I read about Coach Brooks is how they're really trying to put forth a lot of service hours. They actually have a program called, they're ranked 7th in the nation among other women's basketball teams in the amount of service hours that they commit. So that's a pretty cool stat, I believe.
Gales open for 3. That's off the mark. She's still looking for her first basket as Morgan Maldonado, the freshman from Anchorage, into the game for Boise State. Hutton on the low block, and that one rainbowed out of bounds. More appropriately going to Wesley Brooks than to Natalie Pasco.
I think Coach Brooks was almost going to come down with that.
Made the play. Broncos now 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes and 50 seconds. A little sloppy with the basketball. That is now 5 turnovers for the Broncos here in the first quarter. Gales gets it over to Roseo Lopez. On the drive, Sanford. That one blocked by Hutton. And Maldonado, the point guard, heir apparent for the Broncos. And a blocking foul called against Rachel Wilson, the senior out of Carrollton, Georgia. And there's Gordy Presnell. What more do you say? 791 career victories, 395 of those as the head man for the Broncos.
And he actually moved up in the rankings. I'm not sure if people have noticed that graphic changed just a little bit. Nice shot by Danny Bays.
Off the timeout, or off the inbounds play, rather. Bays with that jumper. She's on the board with 6 points.
Yeah, Coach Presnell bumped up from number 22 all-time to number 18, which is 4th among active coaches in the NCAA. So pretty impressive stats there for Coach Presnell.
Hutton has the rebound knocked out of her hands. Low post for Heaton. Out to Gales. Her 3-ball off the mark. And the rebound tipped out of bounds by the Aggies, and Boise State will get the basketball back.
You know, I alluded to Gales having a pretty remarkable story. She really does. Out of high school, she was ranked number 8 in her recruiting class. She was McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand Classic player. She actually was shot at a party multiple times. The doctors believe 9. She had 18 different wounds. They are actually worried they might have to amputate her legs. So for her to be out playing Division I basketball at this time is pretty impressive. You know, USC honored their commitment to her. She participated in their program, obviously redshirted her first year there, but has just been a very inspirational story. She received the Honda Inspiration Award in 23-24 and also received the Pac-12's inaugural Tammy Blackburn Inspirational Award. So just a very cool story to get behind. If you haven't Googled her before, you should. Aaliyah Gales, pretty impressive.
She's got the ball now. She's out of Spring Valley High School in Las Vegas. Kicks it over to Roseo Lopez. Picked up by Thompson, picked up her dribble. Low post to Wilson. Wilson tries to split the defense and gets the foul called. Hutton and Bays were both there.
I think Bays is getting that one.
And they're going to get Danny Bays with the foul.
Yeah, the drop of the hands is an easy call for the officials to make. Danny comes over for a double situation, and I think...
Well, they assessed it to Hutton.
Did they?
No, now they've changed it to Bays. Initially it was Hutton, and now the officials, I think, are going to go to the monitor to square over. No, they're not. We have a brief delay, and I'm not sure what the delay is for.
I think one of the
Oh, there we
players.
go. Yeah, Wilson got up a little gingerly when she was knocked down to the floor in that scramble for the ball at the Aggies' defensive end of the floor, and maybe a little blood. So she's wrapped up and patched up. You see Morgan Maldonado, the freshman from Anchorage, seeing minutes here in the first quarter as Wilson rolls the first one in, a 56% free throw shooter, transfer from Wheeling, where she started 54-55 games. She played her freshman year at Life University, so she's a basketball vagabond, as many are these days. She hits the pair for her first 2 points. Bays outside, Utah State, and a foul called on the Aggies. Utah State is picking up defensively very early when that first pass is made and making things a little tough for the Broncos.
They showed a little bit of a trap there on Danny Bays, and so wisely by her getting Gales up in the air and then trying to dribble through. Just a really smart play in order to pick up that blocking foul, which, you know, Gales, you know, Utah State cannot afford to see her in foul trouble. That was just her first, but if she goes out of the game, that definitely contributes to offensive troubles, I think, for Utah State.
6 turnovers now on the Broncos here in the first quarter as freshman Kenna Garza checks in for Boise State for Libby Hutton, who threw that one away. This is Gales over Maldonado. That one in and out, and the rebound to Tatum Thompson.
Garza had a really significant impact in the San Diego State game, had a couple nice post moves, also hit a 3. I think Thompson got away with a travel on that one just now.
Kind of drifting as she caught the ball and stayed in motion.
I like to call that Mario Brother feet, is what I like to call that.
And another turnover on Boise State as Garza can't get to that one. She led her Pocatello High School team to state titles, and then the Thunder won it again this year.
They did. Back-to-back state champions.
Back-to-back state champs.
5A Pocatello Thunder.
Yeah. Their Thunder team came here and was able to watch Kenna play in the San Jose State game before the state basketball tournament. As Gales struggling 0 for 5 from the field. And that nice runner in the lane by Roseo Lopez makes it a 3-point game as we're under 30 seconds to go. And after Boise State jumped out to the big early lead, the Aggies are making them work.
Yeah, they're doubling and trapping every ball screen. And
that pass telegraphed Heaton. And it's a 1-point game with 15 seconds to go off yet another Bronco turnover.
You know, we tried to talk about this in the open, but, you know, Utah State, their win record does not show it, but they are a tough team. I mean, they've definitely pushed some of the conference best teams to the end of the tape. They nearly knocked off San Diego State in January. They gave UNLV a run early February, and then they just had a heartbreaking close loss to San Jose State, who is presently in 12th place. Utah State is in 11th. That was a 2-point loss just on the 18th. So, you know, they're going to come to play.
Inbounds pass, and Thompson can't do anything with it. So after 1 quarter of play on Senior Day, it's Boise State out in front of Utah State by 1. A 6-0 Aggie run makes it a 1-point game after 1 quarter at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State turned the ball over 8 times in that first quarter. They give it up 15 times on a game. And then you see some of the turnovers. Utah State has turned it over 4 times, but the Broncos have to do a better job of protecting the basketball as we start the second quarter with Maya Hansen in the backcourt, along with Maldonado, Thompson, Bays, and Garza. 6-0 run by the Aggies to end that second quarter. Thompson fouled on the jump shot by Heaton, who doesn't like the call. Heaton out of Lehigh, Utah, went to the College of Southern Idaho, as did Macy Brown. And good program in Twin Falls for the Golden Eagles.
Absolutely. Coach Rogers does a great job over there at College of Southern Idaho. You know, with those turnovers, I can swallow a turnover of doing, you know, if you're trying to get that backdoor cut, you're trying to push tempo in a fast break situation. But I would say out of those 8 turnovers the Broncos have had, at least 2 have been mental mistakes. You know, 3 of those 8 turnovers are I forget about Libby's pass to Coach Brooks over there at Utah State. But, you know, those things, those need to be curbed. Those need to be refined. So turnovers are doing. Coaches don't love turnovers, period. But I think we can absorb those a little bit more. The mental mistakes, those ones are less forgivable.
Gales, who's 0 for 5 from the field, guarded by Pasco at the top. Broncos break that 6-0 Aggie run. Nice pass underneath to Wilson, and she lays it in. Wilson now with 4 points. And it's back to a 1-point lead. Quick catch fire. Izzy Harms well off the mark. And the rebound to the Aggies, Livingston. Izzy Harms, a freshman from Eugene, Oregon, now in the game. Sanford with a head of steam. She gives the Aggies the lead.
Just feels like momentum shift a little bit right now. I think the Broncos are going back to their bench. Hutton's getting back to the table to check in. You know, right now there's a decent crowd in ExtraMile Arena. I think they want to have something to cheer about. But right now the Broncos are making that tough.
Garza with the 3-ball that hits off the back of the iron. Have to wonder a little bit, Kim, besides we talked about the emotions of senior day, what kind of hangover from that tough loss to San Diego State the other night?
You know, interviewing senior Tatum Thompson after the game, no one wants to get on camera. No one wants to get on the air after a game like that. You know, they really did leave it all on the floor and did their best to pull out that win. You know, Tatum talked about having the 24-hour rule of letting yourself feel the emotions that you do and to flush it. You know, I think the biggest victory that they got out of that game was knowing that they can, great rotation by Maya Hansen there on that charge call, but knowing that they can play with San Diego State and going into the tournament, I think that is just priceless, understanding it right there. You know, Maya Hansen picks up at least 1 charge call a game, I swear. I don't think we have a stat on that, but she and Danny Bays do such a great job in that help rotation to understand when a player, you know, is going to have a tough, difficult job catching that ball and coming down. She's always there, it seems.
Wilson with her 2nd personal foul. Thompson works baseline. Nice move on Sanford. It rattles out, though. Rebound, Libby Hutton for Boise State. Maya Hansen spots for 3. Gives the Broncos the lead again at 18-16. Nice play, kept keeping it alive for Libby Hutton. And that leads directly to the triple by Maya Hansen.
I know we talk a lot about Bays and Pasco with their 3-point shooting prowess, but, you know, don't forget about Maya Hansen. Maya Hansen shooting almost 40% from 3, and that just brings up her percentage even more. So she's really, really tough from outside as well.
Hansen called for the foul on the body against Gales, who goes to the free throw line. Season high 24 points against Grand Canyon. Also 10 rebounds against Air Force. But as mentioned, just 2 points and 1 rebound in 9 minutes against Boise State when the Broncos won down in Logan earlier this season. And that one is her first point of the game. Broncos winning in Logan on February 12th, 76-60. Excuse me, on January 17th. That was the last time the Broncos lost to Boise State, was February 12th of 22 in Logan. So the score is tied at 18. We have had 3 lead changes here in the first half as Maya Hansen brings the ball down the floor for the Broncos. Guarded there by Rosario Lopez, and that pass skips out of bounds for yet another turnover on Boise State. The 9th of the game.
That's a nice called set. You know, there was a back pick bringing Hutton to the ball side, and then they were going to run Pasco after she set the back pick off of another pick to the top. I would have loved to have seen Maya Hansen hold on to that instead of the force into the post and given Natalie Pasco a look on the top. I believe she was the more open player out of the 2.
Sanford drives on Hutton on the baseline. Nice reverse move, but the shot blocked by Hutton. The ball comes down, though, to Utah State with 4 on the shot clock. Gales launches the 3 and drains the triple.
You know, at the break we were talking, Mark, about if Gales gets hot, now that Utah State is playing with a little bit of confidence, that can really change the dynamic really fast. And, you start playing with a little more confidence, it makes a big difference. You can do some pretty impressive things.
Cross-court pass to Harms. She draws the double down low. And that's Mason Borcherding, and she's called for the turnover, the freshman from Parker, Colorado. Before the game, we had a chance to visit with assistant coach Jackie Robinson, and he said you can't rest on this Aggie team, and they are giving Boise State all they can handle. A timeout taken by the Aggies. They lead by 3 with 6:44 to go in a first half that has not gone the way Boise State would have probably figured on senior day. Maya Hansen knocks down the triple for the Broncos. Boise State 5th in the Mountain West defensively, giving up just 61 points a game and 2nd in field goal defense. But right now the Aggies, after that turnover, managing to shoot 42% from the field. The Broncos about 43%. Izzy Harms doesn't get it to go. Borcherding with the weak side rebound. Getting a snapshot of Broncos of the future. Borcherding, Harms on the floor. Hutton will be back next year in all likelihood. Of course, you can't say with a certainty with the transfer portal these days. But she could return.
She's back.
This is Maya Hansen. Libby Hutton, who's really turned her game around here this season after an inconsistent freshman year. Borcherding with the left hand. Heaton swats it out, but Hansen gets the rebound. Here's Pasco.
They're really letting them play inside. I thought that was a nice move by Borcherding. Yeah, they had.
And then they call that one on Heaton over the back, the 5'10" senior from Lehigh, Utah.
I think when that entry pass comes in, that's where most post defenders pick up fouls. When you go through the player, you can see Heaton reach through, especially as the pass is coming in. I would get so angry at my post players when they would do that, because Lord knows we'd worked on it in practice. Broncos have been very good based on out of bounds. Let's see what they draw up here this time.
Pasco, catch fire, missed. Gets her own rebound, follows it home for her first bucket.
Nice open look for Pasco, and that was a read. Harms decided to go through the screen and gave Pasco the opportunity for a curl.
1,521 career points now for Pasco. All 4 of their core 4 seniors over 1,000 career points. Thompson,
and Pasco with those points is 5th in program history, so she's definitely notching and solidifying her spot here in Bronco history.
Macy Brown with the travel. Turns it over, and Danny Bays checks in for Izzy Harms for Boise State. And in for the Aggies, Paloma Munoz Herreros, a freshman from Malaga, Spain. Kim talked about the international flavor of this Aggie squad. Quick fire by Pasco, front rim only. Gales tips it out, and it's picked up by the Utah State team. This is Sanford. Sanford, a downhill player, always driving to the basket. Gales deep 3, skips off the iron and will go out of bounds. Nice job by Maya Hansen providing the box out on Rosario Lopez, preventing her from getting to that offensive rebound.
I've been really impressed with Sanford. I mean, from the get-go, she's really been attacking. I know she's only 2 of 7 from the field goal, but boy, she's really attacking. Anytime the Broncos have a poor closeout, she's making them pay.
In the lane, Hansen, that one skips off the iron. Hutton there for the rebound. If you can't control it, it goes out of play. And Tatum Thompson now checks back in for the Boise State Broncos. She will replace Borcherding, the 6'1" freshman from Parker, Colorado.
You'd like to see the Broncos gain some momentum. You look at the San Diego State game, they were doing a great job in the first half defensively, was holding San Diego State to poor shooting. All the momentum was going in the Broncos' favor. And then right towards the end of that half, San Diego State hit a bank 3-pointer, which kind of opened the door. That's unfortunate.
Block called on Danny Bays.
Schofield, I'd like to see that one again.
Bays looked like she had position in the lane.
She stepped in. She might have been still stepping in. It's hard to see from that angle.
Rosario Lopez draws the foul and will go to the free throw line. 65% free throw shooter. Continue your story there, Kim.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm just saying the momentum can be such a huge factor, especially when you go into the half feeling that momentum, and that's what the Aztecs did when they came out and blitzed the Broncos. I think at one point they were 10 of 15 from 3 in that beginning parts of the second half. So you're looking at Utah State has not had a lot of success in terms of wins and losses, and right now is holding a 3-point lead over the second place team in the Mountain West. So they're going into the locker room feeling very good about themselves, and you know, we're going to give the Broncos all they can handle moving forward.
Jada Lewis with the runner in the lane. Back iron doesn't go. Aggies 6 of 6 from the free throw line. They lead by 3. Gales quickly. Sanford. Corner. Burying the triple is Elise Livingston to give Utah State their biggest lead of the day at 6.
I don't know how many shots by the Broncos have just been rimmed in and out. That was a great drive by Lewis on the last possession, and just it burped in and out. Just a tough. Oh,
Maya Hansen misses that one. Thompson battles for the offensive rebound. This is Lewis, another one of the freshmen. She's from Garfield High School in Seattle. Kicks it on top to Hutton. Libby down low for Thompson. Spins in the lane. She loves that shot and gets the roll.
I was glad to see that one go down. I was just making a comment about how many, just like that shot, it just burped out afterwards. So I think the Broncos feel a little collective sigh of relief when that one went down.
Broncos have hit just 2 of their last 9 shots and had missed 4 in a row before Thompson hit that one in the lane. Saw her practicing those in street clothes an hour and a half before the game. That one spins off the rim, and here comes Maya Hansen. Hansen, head up dribble, gets it down low to Thompson for the bunny.
That was just a defensive breakdown. You know, matching up in transition is so important for Utah State. We talk about all the shooters in the Broncos' hands. Unfortunately, they were a little confused catching those shooters and lost track of Tatum Thompson, something you do not want to do.
Word to the wise. Note to self. Do not lose track of number 0.
Player number 1 on the scouting report.
Outside Gales guns the pass over to Livingston. Back to Gales, and Aaliyah will reset against Thompson. Good matchup. Drives on Tatum, lost the ball, spins in the lane, curls off, and the rebound to Hutton. Broncos looking to run, and that pass right into the hand of Gales. Nice defensive play to pick that one off. Gales all the way, scoops, and draws the foul. I didn't see a whole lot of contact there, but Gales hit the deck, and the foul was called by McCall Judd.
I think that might have been a little bit of phantom foul. Gales dives in this situation because she was trying to have enough extension to get to the right side of the backboard. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think if that goes to Maya Hansen, if so, that's going to be her second.
Hutton, her first.
Okay, thankfully.
Bays on the bench with 2 for Boise State. Wilson and Heaton on the bench with 2 each for the Aggies. As Gales to the line, a 73% free throw shooter. Again, 3 seasons at USC, but one of those was a redshirt year due to the incident. She suffered multiple gunshot wounds at a party, and the fact she's even able to run and walk, much less play basketball, is quite miraculous as that one spins out, and the rebound comes to the Broncos. First miss from the line today by the Aggies. They're 7 of 8 now. Outside, it's Jada Lewis. To Tatum Thompson, directs traffic, gives it back to Lewis. 15 on the shot clock, 2:09 to go in the first half. Pasco really hasn't gotten free for her patented triples today as Thompson, as the shot clock winds down to 4. Tatum, they get on top. Pasco, there's a triple. Doesn't get it to go with the horn. It's tip free. Broncos get it with Pasco. Thompson down low, muscles it in and scores. She hits the deck. She pounds the floor in frustration that she didn't get the and one call, and she is staggering as she comes back up the floor. Sanford drives, no, whistle. Broncos basketball. Thompson is definitely struggling right now after that fall that was not called. Looks like it's her left leg or ankle.
Yeah, I can't tell. It's an unusual limp, that's for sure.
Her body language not very good. That time Hutton has it rejected. And yes, that should have been a foul down low. Utah State
I think Sanford got away with a hit on the top of the head on Hutton as she was going into that finish.
Borcherding set to check in for the Broncos. Utah State leading by 1 will milk some clock. Aggies, no field goals in the last 3:08. That one off the mark. And Hutton with the rebound, a reach-in by Brown, and they don't call it.
And now Thompson's running a little bit better. You see a little bit more
Ill-advised cross-court pass by Jada Lewis. Fortunately for Boise State, Livingston deflected but couldn't keep it in play. And now Tatum Thompson will leave. We'll watch this one again. Watch the play. Thompson gets the lob, goes in strong, comes down hard. It looks like maybe her right ankle or leg, and you see her pound the floor in frustration. That inbounds pass knocked free, and they're going to give it to Utah State on yet another Bronco turnover. They're going to call a loose ball foul against Borcherding. And now, are they going to look at it, or is that foul going to call stand?
I'm not sure. Schofield immediately went over to the table and was doing a lot of pointing.
Robert Schofield with the call there, and I'm not sure.
Did he call a foul, or was he calling out of bounds?
And now he's calling somebody over. I think there's somebody in the stands that may have said something, because he's pointing to somebody in the crowd like he wants them ejected. And security is heading into the seats. And I think a gentleman is being told he's going to leave. The turnover was not it was a foul on Borcherding. That is the 4th team foul on Boise State. And the Aggies, about an 8-second difference between the game and shot clocks, as this gentleman is being escorted out of the building.
I mean, must have said something.
Gale misses out. A lot of contact, nothing called. They are definitely letting them play with 13 seconds to go. Double teamed in the backcourt is Hansen. Looks to give the Broncos the lead going into the locker room. Hansen with the dribble underneath. Hutton. And the Broncos will take the 1-point lead into the locker room. Ain't pretty, folks, but it does count. And Boise State takes the 1-point lead as we go to the locker room. Gordy Presnell having a chat with Robert Schofield, one of the referees. The Broncos down the tunnel, and they have the 1-point lead against Utah State as the Aggies scoreless in the final 2.5 minutes. We have halftime activities come your way next after we take this break. Halftime here on Senior Day at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State leading Utah State 28-27, holding the Aggies scoreless over the last 3.5 minutes to take the lead. It was our 5th lead change here in the first half with Kim Bridges. I am Mark Snyder. And Kim, we take a look at the first half action, and Boise State not shooting particularly well, just 11 of 28, but they have 10 assists off those 11 baskets.
They do, and I believe when you see a stat like that, you're excited as a coach because it really shows the sharing of the ball, passing up a good shot for a great shot. So you definitely want to see that on your team's stat line at halftime.
Broncos leading the Mountain West in assists. They have the conference's leading assist maker at Maya Hansen, who has 5 today. Her season high of assists was 9 against Seattle University earlier this season. They off the inbounds play. Danny Bays with the triple. On the other side of the coin with the good comes the bad, and that bad would be Boise State turnovers. They have turned it over 12 times today, leading to 10 Aggie points, and that's really what's kept Utah State in this game.
It has, and you know, the Broncos come into this game averaging just about 15.5 turnovers a game, and so the fact they have 12 at half, I mean, that's just unacceptable. You know, that's going to be a big talking point for Coach Presnell. We talk a lot about turnovers of doing versus turnovers that might be a mental mistake, turnovers that are an errant pass, and I would say, I would think at least 5 to 6 of those 12 are from the mental mistake, errant pass type of situation. So the Broncos, if they want to take care of business, which they really definitely do, this is an important game. They got to take care of the ball a lot better than they have.
Elsewhere around the Mountain West today on this final Saturday of the regular season, Air Force is in Colorado State's gym and losing now in the fourth quarter, 66-52. So it looks like the Rams will continue and win that game. San Jose State at the bottom of the conference standings with Utah State, trailing with 4.5 minutes to go in the game by 10, 59-49 at Grand Canyon against the Lopes. New Mexico and Nevada are at the half with the Wolfpack leading the Lobos 34-32. San Diego State at the half doubling up Wyoming 42-21. And a little later this afternoon, in about 15 minutes or so, it's Fresno State hosting UNLV. Of course, all conference action here on the Mountain West Network. Here, Boise State leading Utah State by 1, 28-27. As the regular season winds down and the Mountain West Conference Tournament will start March 7th through 10th in Las Vegas. All 12 teams in the conference will go, but this final Saturday of play is going to really flesh out the seating locations for each team.
It is, and with the top 4 teams getting that first round bye, it's more important than ever to finish strong. And there's a lot of things that can happen in those standings based on wins and losses. It's an interesting domino effect. So the Broncos need to do what they can to take care of their own destiny and to finish out with a win here at home.
It's Senior Day, and we'll bring you some of the highlights of Senior Day festivities that took place before the game. When we come back to halftime, Boise State up 1 here at ExtraMile Arena in Boise. After a first half that lacked a little flow and finesse, the Broncos leading by 1 against Utah State 28-27. Of course, this is Senior Day, and we honored the seniors who came out for their final game today. And Boise State's Tatum Thompson, Danny Bays, Maya Hansen, Natalie Pasco, Josie Stedman, and Madeline Cook. And also graduate assistant Maggie Cornelius was recognized before the game. And this group really will leave a legacy, won't they, Kim?
They definitely will. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Claire Bays, that's Danny's mom. She was actually in Boise for about 7 weeks, but was unable to be here for senior night. I know she's listening at home. So to Claire, don't worry, your daughter was walked out with Lisa Jurgen as well as 2 former teammates of Danny Bays, and so she was well received by this crowd here, just as all the other seniors were as well.
When you take a look at this senior class, as we talked about in the opening, they compiled a record of 78-52 coming into this last year, a 60% winning season, 17-16 as freshmen, 21-14 as sophomores, 18-15 as juniors, and a bit of a down year last year. And this year, 22-7 as they are determined to go out in style. And you take a look at this Bronco team and the first 4 names on that board, as you see there, all over 1,000 points. We've said so many times, Kim, how rare it is in this day and age to have 4 players, A, play 4 years, but B, score 1,000 points with that same team.
It's so significant, and I think it says a lot about the recruiting for the Broncos and the product that they're putting on the floor here, but also the education that can be offered at Boise State. I know that Coach Presnell is very proud of this entire class, and definitely those 4 who have reached the 1,000 point mark. You know, the other thing that I think is really cool about this senior class is, you know, they were able to add some trophies to their locker room this year when they were down at the Virgin Islands winning their bracket for the Paradise Jam. That was significant. And I recall them talking about how they were so excited to bring back a trophy to put in this beautiful display case. There's quite a few Mountain West trophies. There's lots of other accolades in that display case. But the fact that this senior class was able to put one of their own in there, I think that meant a lot to them.
Take a look at the first half stats from this one, and again, the numbers not overly attractive. Each team now struggling from the field. Nobody shooting over 39%. Broncos from 3 at 4 of 10, just 2 of 6 for the Aggies. Free throws, Boise State is perfect, but they've only shot 2. The Aggies are 7 of 8 from the line. Rebounding favoring the Broncos, including 6-2 on the offensive end. Turnovers we've talked about at length today. Broncos turning it over 12 times in that first half.
you know, this has been a very physical contest, and so I know the free throw stats are a little bit deceiving. You mentioned the Broncos have only gotten to the line twice. They've taken 2 free throws, and even though they're making both of those free throws, that's not enough, especially with the contact that's incurring. So I would hope that in the second half we might see a little bit of an adjustment from the officials' point of view. If not, the Broncos, hey, we're almost in March. You got to play through it. You got to find ways to put the ball in the hole and to clean up those turnovers. Those turnovers are a big reason why Utah State is still in this game right now.
Tatum Thompson jogging on the Broncos sideline, testing out the ankle that she injured late. Saw her talk with Gordy Presnell. He asked how she was doing. She said fine. So I think the senior from Woodinville, Washington is good to go, even though she was frustrated by getting fouled, not getting the call, and twisting. It looked like her right ankle, but she's set to go.
Yeah, and you're not going to see Tatum Thompson sit out the second half of an important game, and definitely not on senior night. She's got a lot of family here supporting her, and this whole arena wants to embrace her and to have a great final game here in ExtraMile Arena.
5 lead changes, 2 ties in the first half. Second half comes your way on the Mountain West Network after we take this timeout from ExtraMile Arena in Boise. We're back at ExtraMile Arena in the Treasure Valley, the campus of Boise State University. Down to your right on that picture is where you'll find the campus. You see Albertson Stadium there. Inside ExtraMile Arena, it's a 1-point lead for Boise State as we get set for the Mountain West Tournament, which starts on March 7th. And if the tournament started today, the Aggies would face Grand Canyon. If they finish tied for 11th, or if they finish as 12th seed, they would take on New Mexico. Boise State, you figure it out. It takes a slide rule and a lot of smart people to figure out the Broncos could finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th seed, and potentially could even finish as the 5th seed. Colorado State has won today, so they have actually leapfrogged Boise State at 14-3 in the conference standings. So as things stand right now, the Rams are alone in 2nd place, a half game ahead of Boise State. So it's going to be an interesting final 2 games of the season. Half of this one, the Broncos end their regular season Wednesday at UNLV. The Aggies home against Nevada, and Utah State with the basketball to start the second half. Gales gives it up to Heaton. Heaton low post. Stedman gets a start in the second half. Heaton tries to split the defense. She does. Draws the contact, doesn't get it to go, but Gales picks it up and scores. Gales now with 8 points.
And the Gales had a very quiet start to this game, and we talked about how she was not super successful. There you go. That was a nice call by Robert Schofield on that one.
The pass into Thompson, who was held by Gales, couldn't get free for the pass. In football, that would be pass interference.
Yeah. Ooh.
And now a foul called against Utah State as Danny Bays hits the deck. They're going to whistle that one against Sanford, running through the screen set by Danny Bays. And it wouldn't be a basketball game at ExtraMile Arena if Danny Bays wasn't picking herself off the floor at least once or twice.
True. I think the fact that she picked up that foul was because of how great of a screen she set. So in that base on out of bounds organization that they have, oh boy, just another
Thompson
enforced
just
error.
Ill-advised pass. It's picked off by Heaton. And the Broncos now with 13 turnovers. That one down low, knocked free from Sanford. Wilson to Gales. And now the Aggies reset the offense. Gales directing traffic as Livingston was not in the spot she wanted her to be. In the corner, Livingston launches the 3 and hits it. And Utah State comes out of the gates with 5 quick points.
And we talked about
that
Livingston.
Pass knocked away. Sorry.
We talked about Livingston early. You know, I mean, she hurt the Broncos last game. She can really find her shooting stroke. Right now, as a season, she's shooting 33% from 3, but she's just knocked down her second one. She had 17 points against the Broncos in their first matchup, has 8 right now. So now that Gales is clicking, she also has 8. We got Livingston contributing another 8. I think Utah State's feeling pretty good about themselves.
Hansen gives it to Danny Bays. Weaves through traffic, cut off there by Wilson. Gets the ball back, it skips out. Broncos missing Again, a little short shot that spins in and out. On the floor, Livingston. The ball pinballed around, and they give it to the Aggies. And Danny Bays looks on like, are you kidding me? We'll have to see that one again. That ball was pinballing. Here it is again. The ball's loose.
They
Livingston,
wanted a jump ball
they
here.
usually call it there, and now that sure looked like Wilson knocked it out, but Gordy Presnell opts not to appeal. And they're going to give it to the Aggies, who scored the first 5 points of this second half and have the 4-point lead. That one off the mark. The rebound run down by Bays. She's got that look in her eye. Danny Bays into the forecourt. Gives it to Maya Hansen. Screen and roll for Thompson. It's not there, so Hansen steps back and drains the triple, her second of the game.
That move takes so much strength. That was very impressively done by Maya Hansen. A little sort of icky step and pop back. Well done. Hand down, man down is what we used to say.
Hansen now with 6. Livingston gets it to Sanford. Sanford spins in the lane. Heaton for 3. Doesn't get it. Offensive board. They dive for it. The jump ball, and the Broncos will get possession. Tatum Thompson leads all scorers with 10 points today. Bays and Hansen with 6 apiece. Stedman with 5. Those on the first 2 possessions of the contest. And Josie Stedman will take a seat, and Libby Hutton back in for Boise State. Hutton really hasn't been able to get going today. 2 points, but she does have 2 assists and a rebound. Livingston in the backcourt. Fends off Bays' pressure. Gets it to Heaton. She'll launch for 3 over Hutton. Back iron, no. Rebound. Wilson puts it back in. Nice offensive board for Wilson, who's got 6.
You know, Wilson can be such an efficient post player. She's shooting 53%. Oh, wow.
Thompson will go to the line on the foul. The and one. She was run into it by Wilson.
Both. I think both things.
Yeah, Wilson's 3rd personal foul. And Tatum Thompson with her 12 points. The foul called, and Thompson to the line for the free throw. Watch this one again, or we watch it again.
On that foul called, yes.
Okay, they gave it to Heaton. That's her 4th. I thought it was Wilson who ran into her, but it's Heaton's 4th. My correction, and Thompson completes a 3-point play to tie this one at 34. It's the 3rd tie of the contest.
And possibly this could be the spark, right? I mean, sometimes if your team's playing a little bit of a lull, a little bit of a daze, which I believe the Broncos, that's a fair assessment of where they've been. You know, sometimes it takes, whether it's a tough foul, whether it's a 3-point play, nice little dribble move by Gales there. But something needs to happen to get the Broncos sort of fired up, and I think Tatum Thompson may have just done that for them. At least I think everybody in the arena hopes that's the case.
Poke the bear, and Boise State in a tie score. And that one is turned over on the Boise State sidelines. Broncos outscoring opponents in the 3rd quarter are 20-4 this season.
And that's the 14th turnover for the Broncos.
That one hangs on the rim, and Thompson with the rebound. Tatum now with 6 boards. Hansen finds Thompson, pulls up from 12, left it short. Gales with the board. That's a shot Tatum usually hits, but she was unable to connect there. Wilson on the fast break gives the Aggies the lead.
Nice up pass by Gales there. Wilson just leaked out. I love a post player that runs the floor, and Wilson did a great job with that.
Corner, Pasco, in and out, and in with the 3.
Wow, that was uncanny.
Natalie Pasco's 5th point, first triple of the game. Such a quick release, and that one got the members roll. Underneath it's Wilson. Guarded by Thompson. Wilson puts a shoulder down and scores.
That was an interesting finish by Wilson. I felt like she didn't even look back to catch where she was.
Bays, that three ball spins out, and the rebound is punched over to Livingston. And now a whistle.
Timeout.
And a timeout taken by Utah State, I believe. They had the basketball, so they should have called the timeout. And we will break as well. As we go to timeout, we see Maya Hansen hit the triple from a couple different angles. Aggies by 1. 5:21 to go, and the Aggies not playing like a team that's lost 15 straight games. They have played some of the top teams in the league very closely, and they're hanging with and leading Boise State.
They really have. And Coach Brooks, you know, we talked about how he's taken over a program that has been experiencing some droughts. You know, you're trying to change culture. That's one of the hardest things to do within a program. And so he's gotten his players to be in a position where they believe, and that is very, very important. Now that they're playing right with the Broncos, I mean, you know, unless Boise State can try to push into a lead situation, this is going to come down to the fourth quarter.
Danny Bays picks up her third personal foul away from the ball. I thought for a minute there she had been fouled, and now Garza called for the foul as Sanford took her to the hole. Kenna just got caught behind and wasn't able to catch up, and that'll send Sanford to the line from Bergen, Norway. You watch this one again. She was able to turn on Kenna Garza. Now it's 2 quick fouls on Boise State. Sanford, the 6-foot senior, started her career at Albany and then 2 years at Tarleton State. Represented Norway in some European competitions, scored 9 points against the Broncos earlier this season. She's an 80% free throw shooter and promptly hits the first.
You know, Sanford she's 6 foot, but boy, she can really move well with the bounce. And I think that's one of those things that's a tough matchup for Garza. You know, you have a player like that, you really need to stay down in your stance. I think she caught Kenna standing up, and that was an easy foul call for the official with the extension of the arm. So, you know, Kenna's going to do a better job, I think, understanding the versatility of Sanford when she's in the game.
Munoz Herrero's in for Sanford for the Aggies, who regained that 3-point lead. On top, it's Pasco to Bays. Thompson on the bench right now. Bays turns the corner, gets it down low for Hutton, and that one rattles in off the window for Libby Hutton. That is her 4th point.
That's well done by Bays, and an exceptional cut by Hutton. We've talked with them in postgame before, and Danny likes to say that's just the Aussie connection, where they can find each other on the floor so well. But Hutton recognized that all the attention, all the eyes were going towards Bays, and I think wisely cut with good timing there.
Bays with the rebound off the wild miss by Gales. Garza down low for Hutton. Libby turns on Brown and scores. That's back-to-back hoops for the sophomore from Perth.
That was nicely done by Libby, recognizing she just had one on her, posting up strong. I love the post-to-post love with the entry coming from Garza. And then the move without the dribble. Yes to that. Post players, listen up. Moves without the dribble are very wise. If you can get to the hoop, continue to do that.
9th lead change of the game. I think Pasco thought the ball was off of Utah State and didn't go to get it. And watch this one again. Hutton with back-to-back hoops. The Broncos regain the lead by 1. Boise State leads the conference in 3-point shooting. They are 6 of 14 from beyond the arc today, and a big reason why these 3 seniors.
That's right. They're averaging 39% from 3, which is top in the Mountain West and second nationally right now. So very impressive work by them. And there's some other players which aren't pictured right here. I mean, Tatum Thompson, I would take my money on her from 3 as well. Just a terrific shooting 3-point team.
Gales gets the handoff from Wilson, gets it out to Livingston. Low post to Wilson. She's done damage there today. Gets it out to the cutter, Rosario Lopez. Ball knocked free, saved by Hutton to Pasco, and Boise State gets the turnover. That is now the 8th turnover against the Aggies, and then the Broncos get the triple from outside, almost on cue. Danny Bays hits the 3 to give Boise State a 4-point lead.
You know, and that whole sequence started with the hustle of Libby Hutton. And I want to make sure I point that out, because sometimes those little extra efforts can be what translates to be such a big momentum swing. So Libby Hutton, well done, getting it done for her That was a lot of contact there as well. I think Coach Presnell is very upset about that one.
That ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Aggies, however. So Boise State gets the ball back. Hutton unable to connect in the low block. May have been fouled. And now for the first time for Boise State, we will see Emily Howard, the redshirt junior from British Columbia. And Thompson checks back in. Garza and Bays will sit. And the Broncos will inbound in front of their bench. Bays is not sitting. She's inbounding the ball. Gets it to Tatum. I saw her head towards the bench.
She was a lot of orange players
A lot of orange there. So Boise State with the 4-point lead in the basketball. Hanson, Bays pulls up. Shot is deflected and knocked out of bounds to the Broncos, who will have 7 seconds coming back in. Emily Howard, not seen a lot of time this year, but she's in for some big minutes here. Comes in at 6'5", can certainly be a factor as Bays rainbows the triple from the corner.
Ice cold Danny Bays. That was tough too. Her defender was chasing her on that play, and there wasn't a lot of time to get that shot off. Also credit Emily Howard with a terrific screen. Howard's screen is partially what got that separation and gave that opening for Bays.
Bays with 12 to lead Boise State in scoring, and now Thompson with the basketball. Thompson with 13, Bays with 12. Hanson down low for Howard, puts it in with the left hand. And Boise State now leading by 9, their biggest lead, and head coach Wesley Brooks takes the timeout, and this crowd is alive. A good crowd here on senior day to wish farewell to the senior class, and they have turned things around, now outscoring the Aggies 21-13 in the quarter. Howard, just a pinpoint pass by Danny Bays.
Excellent pass by Bays, but I think great seal by Howard. Wilson, 0 for Utah State, has been kind of having her way with the Broncos. She's been a little savvy in the post, has 10 points for the Aggies right now. And so I think Boise State coach Presnell said, all right, now you got to contend with Emily Howard, who obviously brings in more size than the other Bronco players. Emily Howard standing at 6'5". I mean, she's a different component. So on that last great finish by Howard, Wilson made a unfortunate, as far as timing goes, she was trying to get around to get in front, but by that point, Howard already had the lob coming her way. So well played by the Broncos.
Broncos on a 12-1 run to take this 9-point lead. Gales for the Aggies, guns the pass to nobody, it goes out of bounds. Tried to hit Wilson on the low block. She was well guarded by Hanson, and that one sailed out of play.
And I would like to add Howard coming over there. I mean, that post presence, you really cannot understand how impactful that can be. I think Gales came around the corner and saw there was all sorts of extra arms in there. Oh, couldn't hang on to that one.
No, Howard lost the ball on the floor. And that's a problem when you're 6'5". You don't want the ball to go below your waist. And that time she couldn't corral it, and the turnover is the 15th against the Broncos.
The high-low was there, though. I like that. That would be a turnover of doing. I think if you just take the dribble away from Howard, I think that was going to be a good look.
Wilson, nowhere to go, gives it to Sanford. Sanford, shot or pass is blocked by Danny Bays and stolen by Danny. She'll fake the pass, go with the left hand, it curls off. Rebound to Thompson. Fall back in the lane is good.
Again, the crowd is coming alive right now. Broncos are starting to feel themselves. Right now, Utah State is on a scoring drought of almost 4 minutes, so they desperately need a bucket in this moment.
15 now for Thompson. Gales draws the foul as she goes strong to the glass, and she will go to the free throw line. The Aggies 9 of 10 from the stripe today. As now Kiera Thompson checks in for the first time for Boise State.
Yeah.
As she is another one of those freshman guards out of Camas, Washington. Gales will go to the free throw line, 73%. She's 3 of 4 there today. 54 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and the Broncos have opened their biggest lead at 11. It's now down to 10. Hanson's second personal foul.
we talked about free throws in the halftime, and Utah State right now is 9 of 10 from the free throw line. The Broncos have only taken 3 free throws, made all 3. But again, we talked about how it's a physical game. It's interesting they have not gotten to the line more often than they have.
Of course, the team and Boise State leads the conference in free throws made per game. At 12.5. Bays fakes the 3, pulls up from 15, skips off the iron, and Livingston high for the board. Good look for Danny, just didn't drop.
She wisely did a shot fake there from 3. I think the whole bench rose thinking she was going to let it fly, but I think her defender would have had a good shot block opportunity had she gone up with it in that moment.
Livingston had room, and then the ball trickles off of Thompson and out of bounds. Livingston, a good-looking opportunity for that 3. She's a 33% shooter from there, but couldn't get that one to drop, but the ball trickles out of bounds off Tatum Thompson. And so the Aggies were on the inbounds. Here's Heaton. To Roseo Lopez. Wilson up top. Down low, Gales working on the freshman and scores over Kira Thompson. And now the Broncos, no sense of urgency on that late bucket, and they'll take a 51-44 lead into the fourth quarter as we check this one again. Danny Bays, 3 from the corner. She has 12. The Broncos up as we head to the fourth. Boise State went on a 12-1 scoring run in that third quarter. They did it on the inside by Libby Hutton. Hutton with a couple buckets down low. They did it from the outside. Danny Bays hits the triple. And then Danny Bays again. So as you see over the last 5.5 minutes, Boise State with a +10 run. Emily Howard getting points. Broncos 9 of 16 in that third quarter. And Utah State just 6 of 16 as we're set here and we start the fourth quarter. Aggies with the basketball. Gales spins it all the way into the corner. And the ball is knocked out of bounds by Boise State. Thompson and Bays in double figures with the Broncos, 15 and 12 respectively. Gales with 12 to lead Utah State. Wilson now with 10. As the inbounds pass comes to Roseo Lopez. Underneath for Gales.
Wow.
Tough catch in traffic and missed the shot. Hutton with the rebound. That is her 6th of the game.
I don't know how Gales got up and got that pass. I mean, impressive. We were talking about football terminology. I'd want her on my team as a wide receiver. I'm
high pointing. Sure. Thompson splits the D and scores. She's got 17.
That's what Tatum Thompson does best. A little shimmy shake right before the finish. Does a great job collecting in the air and making it look extra cool is what I would say.
You can see why Gales was the 8th best recruit in the country her senior year. She launches a 3 and missed that one badly. Rebound on the floor. Bays gets it to Thompson, and Boise State will have the basketball, leading by 9.
Hustle point by Danny Bays. See if it pays off.
Gets the shooter's touch.
That makes 5 of 6 from 3 right now by Danny Bays. And again, dove on the floor to retain that possession for the Broncos. You love to see it. You love to see a senior playing that hard in this moment.
17 assists on 22 buckets for Boise State. They now lead by 12. Heaton on the baseline. They kick it over to Gales. Ball fake. Drives on Hutton. A lot of contact. Nothing called that time. Gales looks for the foul as Bays gets it ahead to Tatum Thompson. Thompson down to Hutton, and she scores. Libby, I think, surprised when she caught the ball that there was no defender between her and the basket. And Hutton now with the hoop. She's got 8. Heaton
I think
blocked.
that might have been a travel situation. Yeah. The audience definitely wanted that. You know, this is interesting. So Broncos are on a nice run right now, and Utah State, Coach Brooks has used up almost all of their timeouts. They just have 1 left. So you would like to think you're saving those to break a run or potentially in the last minute of play to advance the ball. Being at 1 timeout right now, especially with the Broncos on the run they are on, that's tough for Coach Wesley Brooks.
And a steal by the Broncos. Bays comes out with it, a 3-on-1. Bays, corner, Pasco, Natalie spots for 3. Front rim only. Rebound Hutton. She's bumped, but the ball comes to Bays in the corner. Down to Hutton. Libby muscles it up against Brown. Goes with a right hand. Doesn't get it to go, but Libby Hutton showing good aggression on the offensive end. Earns 2 free throws.
I think the officials had no choice. They had to call that one. I mean, really, the 2 hands on the back on the initial would have been my first whistle, but she stayed with it. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Libby Hutton and the growth that she's displayed this season. She went from being a very passive player, thinking about everybody else on the floor except for her own scoring, to now attacking, and I loved how much she stayed with that play and continued to attack and was rewarded with the foul shots.
25 points her season high against Fresno State. Converts the pair now, and she is in double figures, so that's 3 Broncos in double figures, and the lead is 60-44.
Again, right now, crucial for the Aggies to try to get a bucket. They really can't do anything to stop the momentum right now. The Broncos seem to have all of it.
Livingston, Wilson, Rosello Lopez banks it in off the window, and Aitanya Rosello Lopez with the bucket, her 4th point of the game. Correction, 6th point. And now here comes Livingston for the Aggies. Drives on Maya Hansen, who lets her score. Didn't want to draw the foul and make it an and one. Good play by the senior.
She was going to get called for a foul on that one, dropping her hands.
Thompson, tough catch in traffic, doesn't get it to go. Gordy Presnell wants to know where the foul was. He thought a defender came down on Thompson's hand as she was trying to shoot.
Can we acknowledge that pass by Maya Hansen, though?
I thought it was going out of bounds.
That was impressive. And again, that's when you know your kids have been playing with each other for a long time.
And Sanford, the ticky-tack foul called against Pasco as she went to the basket. And Boise State now whistled for their 2nd team foul.
You know, I don't dispute the physical contact there. I mean, the body was definitely there. But it's just so hard to get an understanding of what we're going to call and what we're not going to call. And I mean this in both directions. I think Coach Brooks has been very frustrated at points. I know Coach Presnell doesn't hide his frustration very well with the officials. So, yes, contact there, but why not contact a couple plays ago with a cutting Tatum Thompson to the rim?
Sanford now perfect from the line. I correct myself. It's 1 team foul on the Broncos. 6-0 run by the Aggies has them down 10. Hutton up top to Pasco. Natalie closely guarded there by Rosello Lopez. Finds Thompson underneath. Tatum Thompson curls over the front of the rim, and Thompson's got 19.
I think Thompson shot that on the way down, if you can believe that. Again, very athletic, has the ability to catch and hang out there in the air and then wait for the defender to come down before she shoots her shot.
Wilson has it poked away. Nice hands by Pasco to get the turnover for the Broncos. Thompson, fall back. That one's too strong and out of bounds, but it's last touched by Utah State. Tatum, a little too much mustard on that one as it goes out of play to Boise State with 5:42 left in the game and 20 on the shot clock for the Broncos. And now for the Aggies, Paloma Munoz Herreros, another one of those freshmen, checks in. Wilson will sit. Pass comes into Thompson. She's double teamed on the baseline. Finds Pasco, finds Bays, missed the 3, and the rebound is out of play.
On that last base and out of bounds, I guess it would be sideline out of bounds. Sanford did a really nice job of pushing Pasco off of the screen. That's a hard thing to do, but if you can wedge yourself and use your speed to push her off the screen, that kind of made the rest of that play break down for the Broncos.
Bays will sit, and she's replaced by Izzy Harms, the 6'1 freshman from Willamette High School in Eugene. This is Sanford. Outside, quick fire for Livingston. Drains the triple
Again, Livingston has the ability to get hot, and right now she's 3 of 5 from three-point land. So if you're looking at finding a way to get back into a basketball game, to cut into a lead, you've got to start hitting some threes, getting some scores and stops, and she's doing whatever she can to help her team do that.
Pass go to Hutton. Nice pass to Thompson. No shot there, so she gets it out to Maya Hansen, and she is fouled attempting the three-point play. Maya Hansen will get 3 free throws, but she's a little slow to get up as she fell into the Bronco bench. They're going to call the trip. We watch it again. Hansen, no, that's the triple from the outside that gets the shooter's touch for Danny Bays. Boise State, for the 5th time as a Mountain West program, a 22-win season, 7th time overall. They're looking for win number 23 today, as this senior class has contributed 78 of those wins over time. Maya Hansen to the free throw line. She's an 81% free throw shooter.
Right before we went to break, Coach Wesley Brooks was asking the officials to review the last call, and I believe what he was asking for was to see if Maya Hansen had kicked out her foot on her three-point shot. That's one of the points of emphasis this year with officiating, is when you see a shooter who's almost instigating that contact, the officials were not interested in entertaining that request by Coach Brooks. You see Maya Hansen getting 2 of the 3 at the line.
Hansen now with 8 points. The Bronco lead is 11. Gales outside. She leads. She's second now behind Livingston scoring, and then Boise State the other way. Hutton outside, not a threat to shoot from there. Gets it to Izzy Harms. Harms double teamed. Utah State did that very effectively in the first quarter. Corner, Hansen, Rainbow's 3, short. Harms with the offensive rebound for the Broncos. Out to Maya Hansen.
Nice pass
underneath
by
for
Hansen.
Hutton, and Libby Hutton now in 12 points. So 3 Broncos in double figures. And the lead is back to 11 as we're under 4 minutes to go.
By the way, that pass to Hutton brings 8 assists. So the total for Maya Hansen right now, her career high is 9. So
that is 9. Excuse me, they did update it.
Oh, they did update it.
Ties her career high.
Ties her career high.
With 9 assists today. Broncos 20 assists on 25 buckets, and Bays comes away with the basketball. Maya Hansen thought about the long baseball pass to Thompson, instead gets it to Tatum more conventionally. Out to Harms. Harms, and that pass deflected and stolen. Here comes Sanford for Utah State on the Broncos' 17th turnover, and Wilson with the easy 2. She's got 12.
And Heaton in that transition play almost had a moving screen against Libby Hutton. Sometimes you get that call, sometimes you do not.
Hansen corner to Bays. She'll spot for 3. That's no good. Hutton pokes the rebound out of bounds, and it'll be Utah State ball. Now Pasco checks in for Harms for Boise State. So the traditional starters, the 4 seniors and the sophomore, looks like Cordy Presnell will leave them on the floor for the final 2:53, leading 66-59. You'd think he would like the opportunity late in the game to bring them out to an ovation, but the game flow doesn't always dictate that. Here's Heaton, took a few steps before she started her motion. Sanford continues to drive, doesn't get it, and Hutton up high for the board, her 8th rebound. 11 is her career high, that against Grand Canyon. This is Hansen as the Broncos now try to work some clock. Maya behind the screen, stumbles, keeps her feet, guns the pass in the corner to Pasco, and there's her 10th career assist, her 10th game assist, a new career high for Maya Hansen, and Pasco with the triple. She's got 8 points today. Bronco lead is 12, under 2 minutes to go. Gales to Wilson. Sanford. Heaton with 5 on the shot clock. Gales straight away for 3. That's strong. The rebound knocked out of bounds off of Utah State. And Gales just 1 of 6 from 3-point today. 4 of 8 from the field. And Utah State takes their final timeout of the game with 1:34 to go. Boise State now up 69-57. What can you say in your final performance on your home floor? And 10 assists, a career high for Maya Hansen.
You always want to finish with a win. I think that's the first and foremost thing. And then obviously getting some of those individual accolades is just, it's gravy, right? You just want to have that little topping on the cake there.
Broncos next action. They will travel to the desert to take on UNLV. Both teams tied for second coming into today's game. And if the numbers that we have so far today hold, they will remain tied with Colorado State for number 2 in the conference. UNLV leading Fresno State, 4.5 minutes to go in the first half, 26-19. Colorado State already winning today, beating the Air Force 66-52. Broncos and Rebels, and that's going to be a good one down in Las Vegas on Wednesday night. You can catch it here on the Mountain West Network. Every game so crucial down the stretch.
It is. It's crucial for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's seeding. It's your first round opponent in the tournament, but it's also momentum. So I know the Broncos would really like to get that win. This is the only time that they're playing UNLV this year. UNLV and Colorado State, those were the singular games that they had in terms of matchups. So it's important from that perspective. UNLV was picked preseason leaders, but in the preseason poll by the coaches. So they've been in that 2 spot for a while. San Diego State's been holding strong at the 1 spot. When Boise State goes down there, they're actually going to stay down there for the tournament. So they've got a long trip to Vegas coming ahead of them.
Gales with the steal and the score, taking it all the way. Gales now with 16 points to lead the Aggies. But Boise State under a minute to go, leading by 10. That one knocked out of bounds by Livingston. This Utah State team is certainly playing to the final whistle as they get into the passing lane there. Pasco drains the triple. She's in double figures with 11. 4 Broncos in doubles, and it's 72-59. Boise State is going to celebrate a victorious senior day. Sanford off the mark. Hutton for another rebound, her 9th. Underneath, Danny Bays, and she will go to the line with the and 1 as she hit the basket stanchion hard. I think she's okay. Easy for me to say it wasn't me running into the basket, but Bays will go to the free throw line, and now here comes the line change for Gordy Presnell. Maldonado comes in, Harms, Lewis, and Garza for Thompson, Pasco, Hutton, and Hansen. Danny Bays will have to stay on the floor for the 3-point opportunity. Bays with 17 points, Thompson 19, Hutton 12, Pasco 11. And Boise State, they're going to review that last play just to see if there was anything nefarious in that play where Danny Bays got hit by Wilson.
On the initial watch, I don't think there was anything egregious on that. I think Wilson was making a play on the basketball. Of course, that was the angle that we had. Coming from a different angle might look different for the officials. Regardless, the game is now fairly decided. 33 seconds left in the game. This was not going to be a time that, you know, Utah State had to get that block or that stop. So you almost love to see them sort of run through in a situation like that.
If the score holds in the final 33.6 seconds to go, this would be the 13th conference win for the season and the most since the 2019-2020 year for Boise State, as the Broncos and this senior class and this club really making their mark felt. And it's a very competitive Mountain West Conference this year. We talked about it with Boise State, Colorado State, and UNLV all tied for second. New Mexico just a game behind. Grand Canyon just a couple games behind that. So while San Diego State has been the class of the conference, there's a big group there at number 2. We watch this again, and it looks like a common foul called as Danny Bays will go to the free throw line, walking a little gingerly. And don't worry, Mama Bays, your daughter's going to be okay. Like I said, leads the league in floor burns.
Coach Pesnell is really hoping for Danny to make this free throw so that he can get a 5th sub to the table. It looks like we're coming with some youth. There's 4 freshmen who are at the table right now ready to sub in. They would like to put an additional one there for Bays.
They did not make the wholesale substitution when the foul was called. They're waiting until the free throw by Bays, and then you have to wonder who. I guess you would think Hutton would stay on the floor and the 4 seniors would come out, and that's the case. Danny Bays is going to finish with 18 points. And a big hug on the floor.
So that makes 18 points for Bays tonight. 5 of 8 from three-point land, and just a tremendous effort. So many hustle plays by Bays all over the place. So again, Claire, you should be very proud sitting at home watching this game.
And who knows what day or time it is in
I do not.
down in Australia in Brisbane, but congratulations. And Utah State just going to dribble out the clock as they will lose their 16th straight and is still not won in calendar year 2026. Gale's outside, and she launches a deep 3, doesn't get it. The rebound is out of bounds with 0.3 of a second to go to the Aggies. So Boise State with the win, and really the second half was the difference. And there's the final score, 75-59, Boise State with their 23rd win of the season. They are now 23-7. They are 14-5 in conference, and they outscored the Aggies 47-32 in the second half of today's game. Broncos win it going away 75-59. We will be back and chat with a couple players as we return to ExtraMile Arena after this timeout. And we welcome you back to ExtraMile Arena in Boise, where the Broncos defeat Utah State 75-59, turning a 1-point game at the half into a runaway. And Boise State comes out and wins their 23rd game of the year, their 14th in conference play. Mark Snyder and Kim Bridges joined here courtside by Danny Bays, 18 points. A little shaken up there when you hit the basket there.
Yes.
But
great way to end it.
Great way to end it. But talk about the emotions for the senior class. You all got to share a big hug on the court when you were, subbed out. But what was it like coming into this game and your emotions?
I surprisingly handled myself really way better than what I thought I was going to be. I thought it was going to be a mess. But I think, we've been in senior night games and we've lost before, and that's just like a different type of pain. So I think, us four were really fueled by that. Obviously at halftime, questionable, but I think our ability to come together as a group, especially like over the past couple years, says a lot about us. And it's just so fun to play with each other. I'm going to miss it a lot.
Danny, your mom, as I always say, your mom could not be here. She was here for about 7 weeks during a good chunk of the season. We gave some love to her on the broadcast, but I assured her that you were well taken care of with some people that were walking you out. Any words you want to say to your mom back home?
I would just say that I would not be able to do this without you. You're just such a strong, incredible woman, and you've really just been an inspiration to me, and I really just wanted to make you proud, and I think I did that tonight, and I wish you could have been here, but I know that you are enjoying the summer weather where it's cold here, but I just love you so much.
Looking at the game at half, it was a 1-point game. It was not a really pretty first half for Boise State. A lot of turnovers. Utah State came out defensively and really pressured you. What was the feeling at halftime going in the locker room, knowing that you're up only 1 against a team that had lost 15 straight?
It just wasn't us, you know, like it just wasn't us on the court in the first half, and it's just frustrating, but it's nothing that we haven't come out of before, which a couple of years ago, like we probably would have stayed in that hole. So I think knowing that's not how we play, and knowing that, you know, this is our last time on the floor as well, I just think we came out of that halftime, you know, really gritty and really wanting it. So yeah.
Well, 12 of your 18 points in the second half, so you certainly sparked things there as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of grit, I mean, Danny, some of your skin, I think, is in multiple places on this floor.
I just wanted to become one down there. I was thinking about it.
There you are. But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you look at those moments, that dive for the ball, that possession that's retained for your team. That sometimes is the pivot point.
Right.
So how do you take this and pack that when you go down to Vegas the next week?
Yeah. I think doing it and then not fouling, that's my issue, is like I get really excited and I foul, and I'm like, okay, now you can sit on the bench. But yeah, I think this season especially, I've really kind of learned how to like maybe read the ball better, get on the ground, and just have those hustle plays. And especially in the tournament, you know, it's the last time out, so you really just got to give it your all and leave it all out there. So my skin will definitely be left in Vegas, I'll just say that.
Well, Danny Bays, 18 points in your finale here at ExtraMile Arena. It has been a pleasure and a joy to watch you play for 4 years.
Thank you.
Best of luck down in Las Vegas, both with the Rebels and the Mountain West Tournament, and we hope to see you guys bring home some hardware.
Thank you.
Great job, Danny.
Danny Bays, one of our guests here post-game, 18 points, 12 of those in the second half, and she a big reason why Boise State able to win their 14th Mountain West Conference game of the season here this afternoon. Another big reason why Boise State was able to win today, 23 wins on the season, a career-high 10 assists for Maya Hansen, the senior from Montana. Congratulations. Ask you the same question we asked Danny when we started with her. What are the emotions like coming into your senior day?
Wow. I mean, a lot for sure. I told myself I'd keep it together until after the game. Obviously, because we have a game to win. We have work to be done. But yeah, it's just surreal. And I think I just take it all in because of the people we have around here. Like, yes, it's our senior night, but it's a way for me just to show all the people, all the fans, all our teammates, coaches, everybody who's came together, make this day possible. Yeah, and it's just special.
Coming off a tough loss on Wednesday, you know, we talked to Tatum in post-game, and she wasn't the most receptive to the interview, we'll just say that. She talked about flushing those feelings and then getting ready for today. How did you do that personally?
I'm not the best at it, I will say that. It was a tough one for me for sure, because obviously I personally made some mistakes that cost to our team as well. And I think it's okay to dwell on it for a little bit, because it does mean something to me. You know, I care about these people. I want to play well for our fans, our teammates especially. So yeah, it can really hurt for a while, but ultimately that's what's great about basketball is we have another game to play. Right after that game, I was looking forward to this game, just having another opportunity, another one to play. And obviously those are coming to an end for me, so just taking it in even more.
A career-high 10 assists today. What was the mindset coming in? Was it looking for your teammates and just facilitating, or just letting the game come to you?
Letting the game come to me. Obviously, I know each of our players can score at all 4 levels. So anytime I can find them off any type of cut, any type of pass, I'm going to give it to them. So I'm just really proud of our teammates to be able to knock down big shots.
And Maya, you take off to go to Vegas on Tuesday, and then you were staying there for the UNLV game all the way to the start of the tournament, which is probably not until Sunday. So what are you looking forward to with this, your final year in Mountain West Tournament?
Yeah, just take it all in, like I said. Yeah, a lot of this, obviously it's big moments, it's big times, and business not finished. Obviously, we have some big plans. We have some big things we want to do with this program. And we had them since day one, and that hasn't changed at this moment. So I'm excited just to give it our all, go in there and win it all.
Well, the 79th win for this senior class at Boise State. Congratulations, Maya. 75-59. We'll let you go join your teammates. It's been a pleasure watching your career grow and blossom here at Boise State.
Thank you so much, and it means a lot just to have you guys around us to back us up and support us all. You guys are also behind it, so I just want to give you guys thanks as well.
Well, appreciate that. Maya Hansen, career high 10 assists this afternoon. She finishes with 8 points, and the Broncos win by a score of 75-59. We take a look now at the final stats for this afternoon's game. The Broncos wind up shooting just under 49% from the field. They out-rebound Utah State 39-29, and they cut the turnovers way down in that second half, finished with 18 after having 12 in the first half.
Big rebounding margin there. They had the edge both at halftime and, of course, the end of the game. Really pleased to see the turnover change a little bit in the second half. That was really, really giving the Utah State squad a lot of opportunities. I think we said at least 5 extra shots in the first half alone. So I think cutting that down, shaving that down, and boy, I mean, look at all the other numbers. Most games you think, boy, if we're shooting 48% from the field, 48% from 3, and that well from the free throw line, we should win by a lot. So I think that the Broncos are happy to walk out of here with a win. I think they're really excited about what next week is going to bring, but looking forward, a lot of exciting things for the Broncos.
Boise State wins on Senior Day 75-59 before a great crowd of 3,778 here at ExtraMile Arena. As we wrap things up for this season here at ExtraMile Arena, we want to thank our entire crew who give you the best TV production in the Mountain West Conference. Too many names to mention, but certainly Tyler Hawk, Jonathan Palmer, Caleb Howard, Gary Hayes leading the way. Want to thank Cameron Edens from Boise State Sports Information, Coach Gordy Prisnell and his entire coaching staff, and of course the team, my analysts this season, Angela Taylor and Kim Bridges. And thanks to you, the viewers, for your support and letting us know. For the final time this season, Boise State wins 75-59. Have a great weekend, everybody.